those who interacted with him. But in private, they say that he was a man who enjoyed a good laugh time and again.
It is that love for comedy that placed one of the century's most known group on the map. NTV's Brenda Wanga looks at the relation between the president and the men who humanized him through humor.
The late President Daniel Arap Moi enjoyed music, that is not in doubt. But towards the tail end of his 24-year rule, he was dancing to a different song. The caricature of the president in the extremely popular satire show Ridiculous was a crowd puller.
By episode 4, Ridiculous had become the most watched show against what else was in the offering for Sunday evening.
The show's popularity perched on the material provided by the then president.
We were doing what we loved doing. We were not doing it because we were spiting him or spiting anyone. We just loved him. He was more of an entertainer than ourselves, because we can only reflect what he was. And if you found us entertaining, then he was. He was a pretty entertaining guy. I mean, remember a guy who would fire you at lunchtime and hire another person immediately to replace you, and life moves on.
The show, the first of its kind, was a groundbreaker in many ways, but the most significant one was the decision to parody the head of state at a time when he seemed larger than life, especially politically.
The former member of parliament for Mvita, Honorable Sharif Nasir, who is the father of the current Mvita MP, Honorable Abdul Samwad, once stood in his place in parliament and said, you know, that there are some boys from the university who are portraying elders as nincompoops and they need to be stopped.
I'm told, he said, waja vijana watavude jagula, hiyo ni unga wanajitengenezea, niwege nijione.
Abdallah Moi is a retired comedian who mimicked the late president in his shows.
Na alikuwa Rais Moi akipenda comedy, manake saa nyingine za kumwambia ama utamsikia kwambia maibibu wala Kenya mambo kusema nabanda miti hapo maneno yamekwisha. Sasa ni mikono anasema.
News editors and managers recall their interactions with Moi at a time when the show was popular.
This was a man who had a sense of humor, great sense of humor, great sense of humor.
It was perhaps that sense of humor that kept the program on air despite pressure to suppress the artistic talents of the young men who in their own way were playing their activist role through humor.
We existed because he allowed us to. Because if he didn't, we wouldn't have existed.
And we were in that situation where the truth could kill. And in fact, people had been killed for telling the truth. But masking it with humor made us get away with a lot.
The group folded after a 12-year run, but they say they will remember the late Mzee Daniel Moi for allowing them space to practice their trade and to bring a smile to the faces of Kenya, the departed president included. Brenda Wanga, NTV.